Hello everyone, Eileen back with you again today. The card's a little bit different today that I'm sharing with you. It's very colourful compared to the cards that I did yesterday, and I really enjoyed doing it though. I'm using Distress Oxides, a few stamps and a stencil. Let's get cracking then. A piece of multifarious cardstock. I'll clean my board up a little here. The glass mat. Multifarious cardstock, and it's 9 centimetres by 15 centimetres for the topper. Plus a piece of copy paper folded just to protect the cardstock from the oil in my fingertips. And I'm applying mustard seed Distress Oxides with a blending tool, rectangle. Keep the crease in this copy paper away from the area you're working on. Just hold it down firmly, but if you do go too close to it and you get that line, you'll have a hell of a job getting rid of it, so just watch that. Just going up the card. Simple blend, not being too careful. Spin it around, apply a bit more. Oops, that was no good. Creased my card then. Anyway, that will flatten out, it won't hurt. So it's a lovely smooth blend all over, nothing difficult there. And then on to the next one, and this is aged mahogany, and I'm just going around the edges with this one. Another blending tool, load up the blending tool, and from off the mat, just going around the edges. There we go. Oh, my doggy's come to see me. She's lying down beside me. Hiya, Holly. Are you hot, my love? Yeah, it is a bit, isn't it? Okay. Now you'll notice there's a lot of feathering as I'm bringing the ink in. I'm concentrating on the edges. I'm not concentrating at all on towards the middle. Don't worry about that. It will take care of itself. I'm just coming in. Making sure that I get all those edges inked up. And then going back to mustard seed. Just going to give a wipe to this mat. Get rid of the aged mahogany. And then I'm going back in with the mustard seed, really loading up the tool. And then that should blend a lot of this out. Doesn't have to get rid of all of it, to be honest. When the stencil goes on, that will soothe out or smooth out a lot of the other feathery bits. And also the cardstock will soak the ink in, and that helps to smooth it out as well. Plus the stamping's going on, so you've got loads of chances to hide any mistakes. Okay, that will do. Still a few bits, still not a perfect blend, but I'm not bothered. Okay. Right, stencil is next. This is one of the new Lavinia stamp stencils. It's really lovely. And there's a few gaps here so that you can, I want to showcase the stencil, but I don't want it to overpower the card. So I'm just going to aim for the middle and leave these gaps here free for the stamping. So I'm just taking now a sponge. There it is, just a makeup sponge. And then VersaFine Clair ink in Warm Breeze, but a piece of copy paper because I don't want it to be too opaque. I want it to be sort of second, third generation so that it's not so overpowering, because it's quite a strong colour, this. So just dib dab dob. And just put it over the mask, and you'll see that, like so. Oh, that's nice, you see. That's nice. It just gives me a little bit of texture in the background. Yeah, that's good. Now onto my stamping. So I want a stamping mat and a piece of copy paper to protect it. And I'm going to put the main image in. And my main image is this gorgeous fairy. And she's called Spellbound, I believe. Yes, Spellbound. Absolutely lovely. I'm using VersaFine Clair Nocturne, a lovely fluid ink. You might need to heat set it. It takes a little while to dry. Longer than archival, not overly long, but longer than archival. But archival, I find, is a lovely ink. I use it a lot, but it's not as fluid as this, so it doesn't get into all the detailed areas. And Lavinia stamps do need the fluidity of the ink. Beautiful, beautiful image. Okay, just wipe that off, and that. Just standing up so you can see what I'm doing, you can. And I'm going to angle her, and about in the middle really-ish. So press her down. Standing up, and I've been holding her firmly, just letting the ink soak in. And then one press, and there she is. Look at that. She's gorgeous, isn't she? Absolutely stunning. Okay. Now, what's next? I need to think. Oh, yes. Now I'm going to do the heels. But before I do, I'm just going to give her a quick blast with the heat gun, because I want to make sure she doesn't smudge. And the ink, the archival, sorry, the oxide inks are quite wet. So they'll take a little time to dry, and so will this ink on the top. Just check underneath. Okay, that should do that. Now I'm going to put some hills in, or ground her, and I've got another stamp to add as well, little pippin. So I want to tear some hills, and don't tear it like this. You feather it, and you could get the card, the paper, and you could get ink leaking underneath your heels if you do it that way. So it's pull and tear, pull and tear. Tracy herself tears the heels and mountains like this, and it was watching Tracy that I saw that maybe was the best way to do it. Okay. down we go, and again using the little piece of cut and dry. That I've put somewhere and I can't find it. Oh well, never mind, I've got a smoothie now. I'm going to use aged mahogany. I'm going to take it off, but take it off on the paper that you're using, on the copy paper. Take it off, and then as you get lower, the ink is less saturated, and so it's more of a gentle blend coming down. It's not so opaque, it's not so heavy. Again, more, but taking it off on that. That's good. I want it behind her feet so that you can actually, but I want less ink there so that it recedes more into the background, which it is. That's good. And then I'm angling it and putting it a little heavier now. As it comes down, it's in the foreground, so it's much more, you can see just about. Oof, move it up a little, sorry about that. Okay, I think that will do. Maybe another one down there, and that will, actually it doesn't matter about this one because this one I'll be covering with the flowers anyway. So that should do, it will. Just wipe this off. Piece of copy paper. I'm going to do some more stamping as well now. And the other thing I'm going to do, as you've noticed, as I've put in the ground or the hills or whatever you want to call them, I've lost the opaqueness of the ink from her feet. So I'm using a pencil. You can put it back in with the ink itself and a paintbrush, but I like a pencil. It gives me more control. So I've just got a black pencil. It's a watercolour pencil, but it doesn't matter. And I'm just putting the black opaqueness back that I lost when the ink went over it from the hills. Okay. And now little Pippin. Where is he? Here he is. Gorgeous. Versafine Nocturne. Versafine Claire Nocturne. Gentle tapping. His lovely little hair. And take it off from around. And I'm going to have him looking up at the fairy. I don't know what he's saying, but I'm sure it'll be something. So down Pippin goes. Hold him gently. And then down and up. And there he is. And there's a splodge missing from his nose. Can't have that. So out comes the pencil. And I'll just fill in the bit that I missed. Like so. That's good. Now the rest of the stamping, let's clear this away, are the flowers. And they are called wild poppies. And I'm using tulip red for these. Again, Versafine Claire. I'm going to pop them along the bottom. And the first one is going over on the left-hand side. And as high as I can get the design to go, the stamp to go, but with the stalks staying off the bottom of the card. Yeah, like that. So then more red, and I'm going to work my way along the card at the bottom. Angle it now. Same first generation, but I'm going to angle it down. And some more now. Different heights, different angles. So, and then finally, just up the side of the card again, over there on the right. Not as high as the one on the left, so all to the height. Dog's going out for their walk. Holly gets excited. When it's hot like this, Ken takes them either down the beach right by the sea itself, or they go into the woods where it's cool. It's too hot otherwise. And the car's got air conditioning, so they're okay on the way there and the way back. Now going to stamp that stamp again, but in black, just to bring it to the foreground. So this is First Fine Clair Nocturne. Gentle tapping, round we go again. I don't want it to overpower the red totally, but I need it to have its own space, and that will bring your eye forward as well. So this one will be lower, and then one more at the side. Maybe a little higher for this one. Up here. Press firmly. Yes, that's good. Okay, getting there. So that's the stamping of the fairies done. Sorry, of the flowers done. It's the thing when you're doing these demonstrations, you're thinking of what you've got to do next. So you're talking a load of twaddle sometimes. Right. Now, the top. It isn't finished, the stamping. I've told you a fib. Got to do the stamp at the top. And that is this beautiful, really delicate, mystical swirl. It's gorgeous, isn't it? And because this is quite busy, this design at the bottom of the card, and it's quite a dramatic image as well with Spellbound, I'm going to just use this at the top of the card, and again in red, so that it will give some interest without being over the top. Well, that's the plan. Gentle tapping, and then coming down, like so. And then another one. Gentle tapping again. Very mindful of keeping in shot, so I'm up and down like a jack-in-a-box. Right, that one will go there, and then a couple more, I think. One tiny bit there, so it's sort of framing it, and then a tiny bit here, and that should do it. Yeah, I'm not so keen on that bit there. What do you think? No, not so keen on that. I think I might have to put that in there. Yes, that's better. Okay, right, on the last piece now, and that is going around the outside to edge it. But before I do, mindful that Versifying Clear does need heat setting, otherwise it will smudge if you're not careful. So I'm just going to give it a quick blast. So just talk amongst yourselves for a minute, okay? Right, that should do it. That should do it. And I'm going to use a round blending tool for this. And as an ink that I don't often use for edging, and that's black soot. And it's quite a dramatic ink, and especially for me. I don't usually use this one, but why not? But I've got to be careful because I'm inclined to overdo it when I edge and ruin it. So straight off, lift it up. I can't find my edging tool, so I'm going to have to use this. And just gentle, just a gentle edge. Okay, onto the blending mat. Take most of it off onto the glass mat. Mind fingers, oh yes, don't want to get that. Ruin this now and I'll cry, I think. Okay, turn it round. Off the mat. Just angle the tool just slightly so that I can get it along the edge but not overpower the rest of the image on there, or smear it across. And then finally up on across the top. Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. That's quite dramatic for me. So let's pop this out because I want you to see how it looks. Now, the last little bit I've got to do is that Pippin's nose was sort of not the right shade of black. That's better. I'm going to add, no, I'm going to add some glitter. I know, shock horror. Glitter, me. But I am. And it's a beautiful glitter. Well, it would be if I could find it. Here it is, look. Moon dust. And is it a holographic, I think? Is that what they call it? Anyway, it's good. Oh, not for consumption. Right. Now, I'm going to apply it using these. I'm not going to go mad. This is Liquid Pearls, white opal, but you can use any colour because you're going to cover it up with the glitter. So just want a few dots coming up from the poppies, just to break up this darkness at the bottom. I think I'm running out now. Oh, there we go. Come on, be good. Be good. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go. No, it's not going to play balls. I'm going to have to go to my liquid enamels that I'm used to, and then put the glitter over those. Yeah. Right. So, tiny dots though. Just coming out from the flowers as if it's pollen or something. Not too many. Don't overdo it, Eileen. And another one here, I think. Tiny little ones, tiny, tiny. Right, that should do. And then taking a clean piece of copy paper, press it down and put the glitter on. Oh, this is nice. Now I'm going to make sure that I add enough. I think that's it. Right. I've just hit that into the bin because I don't want this going on the floor, this glitter, because of the dog's paws and the ferrets. So I've put the residue in the bin. But that's nice. Okay. We'll just best put this back into my pot. And wipe the rest of this up. Okay, so let's see what we've got then. And this is what I've got. Ooh, touch that, I shouldn't have done. So, what do you think? I think that looks quite pretty. It's quite dramatic for me. I don't usually do a card as quite as dark as that, but I'm liking it. So this was the original, and this is the one that I've just done. More or less the same. Yeah, more or less the same. I've really enjoyed doing this. Thanks ever so much. Thank you for watching. Thank you for all the lovely comments. I'll see you next weekend with Lavinia stamps. I'll be back on Wednesday. I'm doing something with Sweet Poppy stencils. But I'm having a break Monday and Tuesday because I've got some more work to do as well. So I'll see you on Wednesday and then next weekend as well. Take care. Have a good week, everybody. Bye for now.